most popular movie out there, the One Next Door. Can y'all please tell me the premise of that movie? What did you pull from? How did that even come up? How did that come about?
So I got, and my director of photography has a best friend in North Carolina, and he's been wanting to do a movie with us. He's a client for my distribution company, and he's been wanting to do a movie with me. So I told him if he, if he came up with something that share with me, and then if I think it's right, maybe we could work together. So he sent me something that was like 5 sentences from one of his
Mm.
friends, and the 5 sentence blew my mind. I was like, wow.
Wow,
So of
five
course,
sentences.
yeah, the Tanja, Miss Tanja, the shoe lady.
Shout
I
out to her.
call her our hit maker, but humbly. But she, I sent it to her. Of course, she told me off. You don't never let somebody just send you 5 sentences, but she still made it what it was. And she did her thing with it. And then, when I read it, I said, let's make this happen. So we went to North Carolina the first time shooting something out of state. Um, we took most of the cast, a couple crew members. The guy Renee had a lot of the crew, and we found locations there, and then we made it happen. And the I liked how it was, originally it was called uh, Next Door Neighbor.
Love thy neighbor.
I'm sorry, Love Thy Neighbor. And Tubi had they picked up as original, but they had another movie or series, I think it was,
Yeah, because
that
there's a Tyler Perry series out there too called Love Thy Neighbor.
yeah. So they were saying, think about a different name. And so, we just came up. I think it was me, but between me and Tanja, came up with another name, and then, I always give her credit. It don't matter. We just work. So
Yes.
came up with that name, and Tubi loved it, and then, then we put it out, and just, the response we're getting is just incredible. And I knew it was a good script. We got a good feel on what that audience likes, but still, you just sometimes you just never know, man. And
Right.
yeah, and then of course the shrimp scene went viral, and
I was
and
going to talk about that.
and then also it being a Tubi original, that's a whole different level of marketing when
Yeah.
it's
Oh, absolutely.
yeah. So and it just did, like, I mean, we've had 2 10-picture deals with them, and the first
Mm.
7 out of 10 films went on the Variety magazine top 10, which is the biggest out of, like,
Yes.
top 10 movies originals from, I don't care if it's Steven Spielberg, anybody, Tyler Perry.
Yes.
And so we the most we've done with a film was 111 million minutes, and this one did 172 million. And
How does that make you guys feel? Like really, like how does that really, really make you feel?
well, I mean, it's good to get notoriety, because I understand the game,
Right.
and so, and for me and me and Janaya and Tanja, we just want to keep working and keep being blessed with financially being able to. We're not going to talk about millions or nothing, just make money to be able to do this stuff.
Yes.
And so that's our main thing. But it's just the way that God keeps blessing us. It's like wow, and getting in, further we'll probably get into we had day jobs for 20 some
Yes.
years,
Yes. Hmm.
just different stuff. The route we went, we'll get into that. But as far as like going back to like the story, it's just we love, she comes from the thriller world, and her writing and stuff, and I love thrillers, and so I've been stuck on faith
Yeah.
and thrillers. Even our new movie Unconnected, which has done really well too.
Yes.
On the rev share side, it's a faith-based thriller. You don't really hear
Yes.
those. And so and so um we like the premises of the story. And when Tanja wrote, I was like, oh, I think this could
It's gonna work.
something. I think it could work.
So let me ask you, Rocky. Let me ask you real quick. Now, what would you do? Honestly, what would you do if some nice buffed up dude, all up in the grill, and feed your wife of some shrimp?
Yeah, what would you do?
Um, If he's too
Come on.
big, I'm taking I'm taking a pole or something and I'm beating him across his head. I'm sorry. I'm a God fearing man, but I don't play about my
Don't
wife.
let that fool you.
Yeah, and then I'm choking her.
Oh, yeah, because she was, yeah, because I know, like, she was just like, oh,
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah.
just like,
But my wife wouldn't play that type of stuff anyway. But
yes,
I just pray to God that would never happen because
yes.
my wife is crazy with her writing. I'm a crazy man. And I'm a very respectful man, but I don't play about mine.
That's- and you shouldn't. You shouldn't. But
And
shout
she,
out to Robin. Shout out to Cash. Shout out to Kamal Smith. And I want to also say that the villain is not who you think he is. You know, even though that the person that fed the script, you know, he's a bit creepy. I'm gonna say, but yeah, he's not the villain that you think he is. So please make sure if you haven't watched it already. But I want to get some of your perspective, Janaya, before we go on. You know, like give me the premise. Give me some of that. You know, what was the purpose of this?
Basically, you mean of the story itself?
The story itself. Hmm.
Oh yeah, it's just a really good look at how breakdown in communication in marriages can lead to disaster. I think that's a good way to sum it up without giving away too much. So basically, it's a couple who've been married a long time, and they get too comfortable, and attentions start to wander. People get complacent and forget that you still have to work at your marriage. And sometimes when you don't do those things, then other third party um, people or situations are able to come in and start breaking down the bond between husband and wife.
Oh, okay. Well said. And thank you so much for sharing your perspective on the premise of the movie. You know, so I do appreciate that. And so, oh, before we get more into the background stuff, I just real quickly want to ask you guys both, how did this film resonate with you personally, if it did?
um I think it was more just something entertaining.
It's entertaining, okay.
you
Mhm.
know like you said, the stuff that happened, we would never allow to.
Right, right.
and two, what I want to say is, and I'm glad, like I always piggyback. I'm not the best at explaining the stories, and so I love piggybacking off when I hear
You
people
did
talk.
well.
No, thank you. But how it helped is like she said, just reminding yourself on keeping your everything tight. We don't get too complacent and comfortable with each other. We call it keeping on each other on their toes, and that's
Mhm.
really helped in our marriage, And so we usually like to do films if it's not a faith based. We still like to do something if it's a thriller drama. We like stuff that real life stuff that happens
Mhm.
because I feel like we've heard enough people tell us how it's helped out their situation. So,
Mm.
see, I've turned down stuff that I'm like, oh, this is really good, but we've already done it, or it's not really moving like an agenda in a good way. So I try to stick with, or we try to stick with stuff that's gonna move a situation and maybe help in the long run because none of us are perfect and things happen. How can you learn from that?
Okay, well said. And I thank you for um, being brave enough to be selective about the work that you do and what you choose to work on, whatever project you choose to work on, because not many people are bold enough to do that, because they feel like all money is good money and it's not, or the direction that you're willing to take. And sometimes you got to understand that the integrity of it all as well. That has to come in somewhere.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so I thank you for that.